He says, I have some bad news to tell you. The body wasn't your mom's.
Imagine getting that phone call after your mother's funeral and burial. The person laid to rest wasn't her at all. The jaw-dropping funeral home mix-up. Well, still ahead, from heartbreak to just anger. The family alleging a funeral home didn't bury their mother in her burial plot, but somebody else instead. A Long Island family thought they had closure after burying their mother this summer. But as it turns out, the body placed next to their father's plot was not the body of their beloved mother. It was someone else's. And they allege that the funeral home knew this. News 4's Sadie Chang is in Amityville with the action the family's taking now.
We trusted him to do the right thing.
Ishmael Williams and Selima Lee can't believe what happened to their mother.
Everybody thought that she was buried. She was loved by everybody. This should not even have happened to her.
87-year-old Sadie Williams lost her battle with COVID. A traditional Islamic burial means the family had 72 hours to lay her to rest. They hired Haskell Funeral Services in Amityville, who handled their father's funeral 3 years ago. The night before her service, Selima sensed something was wrong.
I looked at him and I said, that's not my mother. He said, of course it is. And so I walked down the steps and I got closer and I looked and I said, this is not my mother, and why is she wearing a child's watch? And then I said, this is not her arm. I said, her arm, she had like a burn mark on her. This is not her arm.
Even though Selima and her 10 siblings thought things didn't add up, they say the funeral homeowner insisted it was her.
He says, well, the embalming fluid smooths out the wrinkles and everything.
The other woman who he had prepared for the funeral was in her 50s, but it wasn't until after the burial that Selima got the call.
He says, I have some bad news to tell you. The body wasn't your mom's.
Furious, Selima recorded her next conversation with the funeral home owner. He told her Sadie was actually at the funeral home the entire time, and he needed to notify the other family about the mistake.
So now I have to let that other family know the same thing, that their mother is there.
Before they could exhume the wrong body from the family grave, they needed signatures from all 11 of Sadie's children, which meant she wasn't buried until nearly 3 weeks after her death, which is not in accordance with Muslim law.
You just would have checked. I mean, your ego has to be so big that you don't think you can possibly make a mistake. He has to be a narcissist.
The Williams family is now suing the funeral home. They filed court papers today. They say this could have all been avoided.
If a family member say, okay, fine, no, that doesn't look like her. It takes 2 seconds to walk downstairs and say, okay, fine, you know, maybe that's not her.
Now, we did speak to the funeral home owner. He did not dispute what was alleged in the story, but he said that on advice of counsel, he has no comment. Reporting from Amityville, Sadie Chang, News 4 New York.